Life.
The Book of Life is an animated feature from 20th Century Fox and Real FX, and it's what we've considered, as we already said, our favorite movie of 2014. I love this movie because I have never gotten to see a movie based on Mexican heritage or Day of the Dead. This is a movie that came out with little to no marketing, right? Like, we saw the poster, and we're like, that's a movie about Day of the Dead. It's animated. The characters look awesome. We should go see it. And that was it. That's how we saw it.
We didn't really know what to expect or anything, but it ended up blowing us away. I know Mike loved it because of his heritage, and for me, one of the reasons I really like it is that I know that my children will be able to watch this movie and have some influence from the Mexican side of their heritage, and have great female characters, great male characters. They're all very deep and complex, and it's not the cliches you see over and over again. It's this really great story that touches on an awesome culture that I don't think we see enough of.
The Book of Life deals with Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos if you're, Hispanic or Latin descent. Day of the Dead is a very important day especially in Mexican culture and Mexican heritage. It's a day to remember your loved ones that has passed. This movie deals with that by showcasing a beautiful world called the Land of the Remembered, where all of the past ancestors all live and thrive and party.
The movie also goes into the importance of family, which is huge in most cultures, but it's also really big in Mexican culture. It deals with the conflict of making your family proud versus being yourself, and how to find the proper balance.
One of the things we love about this movie, and I've kind of touched on it a little bit, is the art style. The movie starts out with your typical animation. You see human characters go into a museum to learn about Day of the Dead. And when they get into the actual story, they use these wooden figures to tell the story, and then inside the story that we get to see those wooden figures come to life. And there's something really beautifully animated about the way these wooden characters are, because every character in there has this amazing imperfections that you see different pieces of wood that were used per character.
So the three main characters of this movie are two men that are both in love with the same woman. And the woman is also very much a strong character in the movie as well. Maria is everything I want to be as a woman. She's strong, she's confident, she's very smart, she's hilarious. She's really like all the things that I try to be in my life.
Did I mention I also studied fencing?
Maria is a feminist who's very open about her opinions that the role this culture puts women in is incorrect.
Behind every man with an amazing mustache is a beautiful woman.
Oh yes, and I'll cook and clean for him and be at his beck and call. Are you kidding me? We're only here to make men happy?
She talks about how she studied art and how she reads a lot, and all these things that the movie jokes aren't things women are supposed to do.
I hear she reads books, like, for fun.
Another thing Maria does that I absolutely love is she loves animals. So much so that she frees a whole herd of animals into the town to save them from the butcher shop.
Oh no, not on my watch.
We have to free the animals!
While this wasn't necessarily the smartest thing to do, and it definitely wasn't approved of, she felt very confident in this decision.
Now, if you will just excuse me, I must go check on Chewy. It's my pig. I need to spend time with someone civilized.
The two men in this movie are both sort of opposites when it comes to their lifestyles, but have a lot in common, and are both vying for the attention of Maria. Joaquin is your hero he's the town hero. He's your big, burly, confident man. But he also has a really soft spot and really cares for Maria.
Yeah. He's sort of the, typical warrior type that, brags about his medals and brings his town honor. But that being said, he still really cares deeply for Maria and is a good person at heart.
Wait, Maria.
Yes?
My bonnet. Oh, you kept it all this time?
It's what's kept me going.
Yeah.
Manolo is the sweet, sensitive type, and his father is always trying to make him be a bullfighter to make the family proud, but he just wants to be a musician.
when you were here before. Couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. But I'm a creep.
Yeah, one thing about both of them is they both live under the shadows of their fathers. Joaquin's father was a brave warrior and fought for the town. Manolo, as Tifa talked about, is trying to be... His family is a whole family of bullfighters. The Sanchez family is the family of bullfighters, and we're known to be the greatest bullfighters in history, and they, of course, want Manolo to follow in those footsteps.
Those are some big shadows we live under, huh, buddy?
Huge.
And Manolo is a very good bullfighter, but it's just not what he wants to do.
All the Sanchezes are bullfighters. Every single one of us.
I was a beast in the arena. A beast!
This movie actually gets into the politics of bullfighting and makes a very strong stance that it's wrong.
No.
Killing the bull is wrong!
See? I told you he'd no do it.
What I love is the way that Manolo and Maria connect when they realize they feel the same way about this issue, even though the rest of the town is against them. What I love about Manolo and Joaquin and the combination of the two is that you see these very, very different characters, but both of them are very good, and both of them are also very flawed. And I think it's perfect that we have these two characters for young boys to look up to, and why either one of them that they relate to is still good. It's sort of the way I felt about Frozen and having Anna and Elsa as two different ways that someone can be.
There are two other characters that I want to talk about that actually set the story in motion, and that's El Muerte and Xibalba.
El Muerte represents all that is good and beautiful in the world.
While Xibalba represents everything that is nasty and gross and evil in the world.
These two characters balance each other out in a very unique way. They're actually in love with each other. Even though they're complete opposites, and it's fully intentional that they're complete opposites, they're not complete unless they have each other.
Ow! What?
The women in this movie are incredibly strong.
Yeah, they are.
Each and every one of them. Even like the grandmother character that you don't see a lot of, you find out that like she was also a Sanchez bullfighter. Like, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. You meet two women cousins that were part of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. And even Manolo's mom has no problem slapping someone, like slapping Xibalba. Like, that's a huge deal for you to slap the god of the underworld, basically.
Yeah. And she's like, will do anything for her son.
Please, can you help me out? Thank you.
And even El Muerte is just like this wonderful, good being. And the movie does a great job at showing strong female representation, and in a lot of different ways. However, I have one complaint. We have no idea at all where Maria's mother is, or where Joaquin's mother is. They're never mentioned. We don't know if they're dead. We don't know what happened, but they're not at all in the movie or in their lives.
Yeah, and we only meet Manolo's mom when he goes to the land of the remembered.
Yeah, so we have three characters, none of which have alive mothers. And that sort of struck me the wrong way. It was like none of these people were raised by women. And it just was a little uncomfortable for me.
Is it time to talk about the música in this movie?
Yes.
All right, let's
let's talk about the música.
The music in this film is just like, I remember the exact moment we both turned and looked at each other in the movie and we're like, oh my god, are you listening to this? Because the music is so brilliant. Music is used as emotional pieces. It's used for conveying and moving time forward. It's just used so wonderfully, and not even the music, but the songs they picked.
They actually took modern songs and gave them a Mexican influence and put them in the movie. And the way they did it was so perfect. It wasn't forced at all. I felt like they made every song they used better than the real songs. And these are
Agreed.
songs we both love.
Only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Right, and let's talk about the original songs, which, as we find out, were written by the great Paul Williams, who wrote most of the music for the Muppets, and it made so much sense to us.
Yeah.
Because the first time we heard both these original songs, you cried.
I did,
You
yeah.
cried the first time.
I
And
cried.
I was like, I cannot believe how amazing these songs are. And then we find out, of course, they're written by Paul Williams, and we were like, well, no wonder. The guy that wrote Rainbow Connection wrote these songs. But the music is so, so good in this film.
I love you too much to live without you loving me back. I love you too much. Heaven's my witness, and this is a fact. I know I belong when I sing this song.
One example of a great song, and it was one of the original pieces, they make a song about bullfighting, where it's essentially Manolo apologizing to the bulls and talking about the history of his family killing them.
Oh, yeah, and it's such a powerful song in the film. It's a powerful moment. It's a moment that, like, the entire theater was just dead silent. Like, you could hear a pin drop, because it was a moment. That song was so intense and so emotional.
Todo, I am humble, for tonight I understand. Your royal blood was never meant to decorate this sand. You've suffered great injustice, so have thousands before you. I offer an apology, and one long overdue.
The way they use original songs in this movie are so emotional. I think that's the most important thing. Is the modern songs?
Yeah.
The modern songs are all really well done and convey emotion, but they use the original songs as a moment of just pure emotion.
Yeah, the original songs are actually the most powerful ones in the movie because of what they're conveying.
Yeah. The movie is out now, so if you get a chance, go watch it. Go see this movie. This movie is amazing, and I guarantee you, you will have a newfound respect for both Mexican culture and the Day of the Dead.
Thank you for listening. Please let us know your thoughts on the Book of Life on Twitter or in the comments below.
Until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Tifa.
Happy gaming.
I love you too much to live without you loving me back. I love you too much. Heaven's my witness, and this is a fact.